Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, having been elected to the high office of the President of the Republic of Ghana.
Hello, welcome to the Joy News 100-day Town Hall event with Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and it's live from the Law Court Complex here in Accra. My name is Evans Mensah.
And I am Kojo Yankson. Now, yesterday, the 16th of April 2017, marked exactly 100 days since the new government, led by His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, was sworn in. This morning, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has agreed to our invitation to join us in walking us through the 100 days that have just gone by, and also shining a light on the future of this government.
Now, this is brought to you by the kind courtesy of Agric Development Bank, Papas Pizza, Adesha Estates Holding Insecticide Spray and Coil, and Give Us Scientific Herbal.
We're also live on Joy 99.7 FM, not forgetting the Joy News channel on Multi-TV. You can also catch us live on Love FM in Kumasi and many of our affiliates across the country. Online, we're on myjoyonline.com. There is also a live feed on Facebook Live on our page, which is Joy 99.7 FM, as well as the page of the Vice President, which is M. Bawumia. You can also catch us on Twitter.
So this is how we have structured today's event. The Vice President will have 20 minutes to address us. He will then interact with Kojo Yankson and myself for 30 minutes, after which he will take questions from the audience here in the auditorium and out there through social media.
So let's begin with the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in welcoming the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
We may take our seats now. We will now start the event by welcoming Joy News editor, Jifa Bampo, to give us a brief welcome address. Round of applause for her.
Your Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, all other protocols duly observed. On behalf of the Multimedia Group, we welcome all of you, our distinguished guests, to this historic event in our nation's history. Today's event is not only a truly momentous occasion, it is one that contributes to deepening Ghana's democracy. Article 1625 of the Constitution challenges the media to work towards holding all governments accountable to the highest standards of good governance. As part of the Fourth Estate, we at Multimedia commit to this purpose and drive, not for ourselves, but for the people of Ghana. Today's town hall event, 100 Days of Change with Vice President Dr. Bawumia, will see him graciously take and answer questions about what the Akufo-Addo government has achieved since January 7th. This event should set the benchmark for greater openness between a government and its citizens. We at the Multimedia Group and Joy News thank the Presidency, the Information Minister, and the Akufo-Addo government for allowing such scrutiny at a time that some would deem early in its 4-year mandate. It's an unprecedented opportunity for all Ghanaians from all walks of life to put forward their questions and for us to facilitate this event. We thank all who've tuned in live on Joy 99.7 FM, our affiliates, also on Multi-TV and myjoyonline.com. Our hope is that the outcome of this town hall will shed light for those who may see darkness. Once again, thank you for spending your holiday with us in the most stimulating manner possible, with none other than the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia.
Thank you very much, Jifa Bampo News Editor. And I quickly want to announce that if you have your phones still on and you don't want to turn it off, kindly put it on silent because I've already had a few phones go off. We are live on TV, on the Joy News channel, and radio, and my Joy Online, on myjoyonline.com, on Joy 99.7 FM affiliates across the country, Lab FM in Kumasi. And once your phone goes off, we hear it. And so kindly put off the phone or put it on silent. And Kojo, we have it's a number of high-profile dignitaries join us today.
Yes, indeed. And let's take a moment to welcome them with a round of applause. First, in the front row, he is the Inspector General of Police, IG Asante Apietu.
Thank you, sir, for coming. We also have with us the Information Minister, a very good friend of the media as well, Mr. Mustafa Hamid. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
She's a minister with Salt and Light Ministries. Let's put our hands together for Madam Joyce Ayi.
And as we proceed, we'll have many more of our dignitaries joining us very shortly. And so as we go on, you'll hear a bit more of the names and who is here, especially for those who are watching on TV and listening to us on Joy 99.7 FM. Kojo?
Let's get started, Evans. So with a 20-minute presentation walking us through the achievements of his government over the past 100 days and shining a light on the future of our nation under their stewardship, let's put our hands together to warmly welcome the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all the dignitaries gathered here, everyone who's made the time to be here at this venue, and everyone at home and elsewhere who's made the time to spend this part of Easter Monday to listen to this. I think we are most grateful for that opportunity to share with you. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ghanaians, on 7th December 2016, Ghanaians overwhelmingly voted for change with the election of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President of the Republic of Ghana. This was against the background of real GDP, that is economic growth, being on the decline. Agriculture was on the decline, and so was industry. We had rising unemployment, high fiscal deficits, rising public debts, and accumulation of arrears on government obligations. We had the weakening of the banking system, and doomsday was with us. Cancellation of teacher and nursing training allowances. The exchange rate had depreciated significantly. We had a virtual return to cash and carry under the NHIS, a freeze on hiring of extension officers in agric, high taxes, which were quite pervasive, high electricity prices, corruption, and we ended up having to go to the IMF for a bailout. Ladies and gentlemen, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government has been in office for 100 days now. Well, we did not make any promises for 100 days. We made promises for what we wanted to deliver to Ghana during our term in office. Notwithstanding that, however, the government, under the leadership of what I can say is our workaholic president, because he works us all so hard, and he's working so hard, he's put us all to work. And we've been at work for the last 100 days. So even though we've not made any 100-day promises, I am here to say that we can point to some significant achievements in these last 100 days. Specifically, I'm going to mention 103 achievements of this government in this last 100 days. We inherited a difficult economic situation. You had a situation where the fiscal or the finances of government was in very bad shape. But we had made promises to the people of Ghana. We're going to reduce taxes. We're going to restore teacher training allowances. We're going to restore nursing training allowances, bringing one district, one factory, one village, one dam. We had $1 million for each constituency. And at the same time, we said that we were going to bring down the fiscal deficit and increase government revenue. Well, many people thought this was an impossible task. A lot of economists wondered, how are you going to do all these things? But this was the background against which we went into the budget discussions for 2017. And thankfully, by the grace of God, we have been able to accomplish what many people thought was impossible. The budget saw Ghana moving away, as we had said we would, from an economy that was focused primarily on tax, to an economy that was going to be focused on production. So we wanted to give incentives to the private sector to bring down, to bring down the tax rates in the country and encourage more production. And so the first thing in terms of the taxes, we abolished a lot of taxes. We abolished the excise duty on petroleum, abolished the levies imposed on KIA by local authorities, abolished levies imposed on religious institutions by local authorities, abolished the 1% special import levy, abolished the 17.5% VAT on domestic airline tickets, abolished the 17.5% VAT on air financial services, abolished the 17.5% VAT on selected important medicines that were not produced locally, abolished the 5% VAT on real estate sales, and we've initiated the process to abolish import duty on spare parts, which will be done when the Parliament returns. We've reduced the National Electrification Scheme levy from 5% to 3%, reduced the public lighting levy from 5% to 2%, reduced the special petroleum tax rate from 17.5% to 15%. We have replaced the 17.5% VAT flat rate on small traders with a flat rate of 3%. And we've granted capital gains tax exemption on stocks traded on the Ghana Stock Exchange or publicly held securities approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So these were major tax changes, and they are indeed achievements of this government. In addition, the 2017 budget returned Ghana back onto the path of fiscal consolidation with a budget deficit target of 6.5%. We ended 2016 with a budget deficit close to 9%, and we are going to bring it down this year to 6.5%. Government also created a lot of fiscal space by capping earmarked funds to 25% of government revenue and realigning expenditures to government priorities. This capping of the earmarked funds is a remarkable reform. Many governments, especially if you look at the 2010 budget, 2011 budget, 2013 budget, 2015 budget, all these budgets attempted to do this and expressed the intention to do this, but never did it. But under Nana Akufo-Addo, we did it in the first budget, and it created some space for us because we were heading into a ditch. You take wages, you take interest payments, and you take statutory payments, and they exceeded all of your revenue. So you could not manage the economy, and we needed to create the space to manage the economy, and this is exactly what the capping did. We were also a very high indebted country, and we began the process of reprofiling Ghana's public debt. As you know, the public debt ended at 122 billion Ghana cedis in 2016. And so we, as a matter of strategy, began the process of reprofiling our debt. This just means that we are replacing more expensive debt with less expensive debt. Short-term debt with longer-term debt. This is what is happening. And so you saw that last Friday or so, Ghana issued a bond essentially to do this reprofiling. And in that context, we raised some $2.25 billion of investment that came in to buy this CD-denominated bond. There was a CD bond which was issued for 15 years tenor, 15-year tenor, and that brought in 2.25 billion. But what is so remarkable about this particular transaction, and I think it is, for me, the deal of the year so far, we've been able to reprofile our debt, get more foreign exchange without increasing our debt stock. That is indeed remarkable. Many people didn't quite understand the transaction, and they thought that we had gone to borrow $2 billion to add to Ghana's debt. No, we are actually replacing more expensive debt with less expensive debt, elongating it and making it better for this country. In the process, we have seen a massive increase in Ghana's foreign exchange reserves. Massive increase. From independence in 1957 to the end of 2016, Ghana's total foreign reserves was $6 billion. That was what it is. In less than 100 days, we have increased those reserves from $6 billion to $8 billion. And this is the achievement. And with that, you have a lot more confidence in the economy, and you have seen a stability return to the exchange rate. In fact, for the year, the cedi has appreciated in value. When we came in, it was running. Essentially, we have arrested it. and the IGP has the keys. He's locked it up. We've arrested it. And we want to make sure we pursue sound policies to keep the cedi stable, but it has appreciated for this year. Inflation has come down from 15.4% when we came into office to 12.8% now. And we've restored confidence in the macroeconomy by anchoring fiscal policy on these pillars of credibility, clarity, and transparency. We have also established, as part of the macroeconomic framework, a new policy regarding government contracts. We came into office and we saw that so many MDAs were issuing contracts that even the central government was not aware of. In fact, certainly we were not aware of. When we came into office, there were all these contracts that had been issued for roads and so on. And how do you control this? We have implemented a new measure which says that the Ghana Integrated Financial Management and Information System, the GIFMIS system, is going to be the controller, essentially. Any contract that is issued by government anywhere in Ghana must have a unique GIFMIS code. If there is no GIFMIS code, there is no contract. So essentially, all contracts will have to have this unique code, and that will allow us to check the outstanding commitments by government just by the press of a button. It's a new reform, and it will help us control expenditure, and it is an achievement. When we came into office, I visited under the instructions of Nana Akufo-Addo. He sent me to the Registrar General's office to see what was happening. I paid them a surprise visit, and I found that our people, in terms of company registration, were taking about 2 to 3 weeks to register companies. And we said, no, what is wrong? Why can't we do it in 1 day, like in some other countries, like Rwanda? What is stopping us? After delving into the matter, we came to understand that there were certain provisions of our Companies Act which really were inimical to this particular 1-day registration. So we got together and found out what we needed to amend in the law to make sure this was possible. So we put that together. We've contacted the people who are drafting the draft bill, who have drafted the bill for the new Companies Act, and they have agreed to incorporate these changes in the new Companies Act so that we can register companies in 1 day to allow the cost of doing business to proceed very, very well. We completed the first draft of the Coordinated Program of Economic and Social Development Policies, the CPESDP, in record time of 3 months. The first draft has been completed. The Constitution demands that this particular program, this particular document, must be prepared within the first 2 years. When we came in and we were told we had to prepare this within the first 2 years, Nana Akufo-Addo said, prepare it within the first 3 months. And we've had a draft out within the first 3 months. And we are going to outdoor it in July. In addition, we have increased our cooperation with Ivory Coast as far as cocoa prices are concerned. Ghana and Ivory Coast control 2/3 of the market, pretty much. And if we cooperate, we can lower the volatility of prices on the market. And so we have been meeting with Ivory Coast and now have an agreement to collaborate between Ghana and Ivory Coast to make sure cocoa prices are not volatile to our detriment. This is a major historic landmark for us, two countries, Ghana and Ivory Coast. In the area of agriculture, food and agriculture, we have hired 1,200 agri extension officers and trained them, and they're about to be deployed out there. Remember that there was a freeze on the hiring of agri extension officers for many years. In addition, fertilizer prices have been reduced by 50%. Because we promised that we were going to subsidize fertilizers to make sure that farmers can get fertilizers at lower prices, as well as in sufficient quantities. So we've not only reduced fertilizer prices by 50%, we've also imported 300,000 metric tons of fertilizer for this year. This is higher than any annual import in Ghana since 2007. And so farmers this year are going to get fertilizers at half the price that they were at last year. And we expect this to help this program of planting for food and jobs that is going to be outdoor just on Wednesday. In the area of tourism, we've established a safety audit unit at the Ghana Tourism Authority to conduct safety audits across tourist sites in Ghana. We've also established the Creative Arts Council to help promote the creative arts in Ghana, and we've launched the Presidential Museum at Christiansborg Castle, which will also help our tourist infrastructure in Ghana. In the area of fisheries, we have spread the allocation of premixed fuel to more oil marketing companies. Previously, only 2 oil marketing companies were allowed to distribute premix in this country. Just 2 of all the oil marketing companies, only 2. But as part of government's efforts to ensure transparency and to stamp out corruption, we have increased the number to 9, and we intend to increase it more to whoever wants to distribute premix. It shouldn't be a situation where people are selected for reasons that we are not sure of to handle this matter. We've also halted the issuance of fishing licenses to stop overfishing and trained watchdog committees along the coast to fight the menace of light fishing. In the area of the land and natural resources, we've stepped up national awareness in collaboration with the media and civil society on the negative impacts of illegal mining, or galamsey. We've halted the issuance of special permits for timber logging, and we've banned rosewood exports. We've also issued an expression of interest for the procurement and subsequent implementation of a digital property addressing system in Ghana. For the longest time in Ghana, we've been saying you can't find addresses unless you go to that road and turn by the kiosk and meet the cocoa seller and turn left before you find a place. Thankfully, we are going to put an end to it this year. Ghana, by the grace of God, this year is going to outdoor a digital property addressing system, and you will, wherever you are in this country, anywhere you are, there will be an address for that place. And we will see it outdoored this year. And so the expression of interest has gone out, and we are moving on. We've suspended the issuance of small-scale mining licenses so that we can restructure the sector. We've developed a 5-year multilateral mining integrated project to improve the management of small-scale mining, to protect the environment, but at the same time to allow Ghanaians to mine in a regulated and sustainable manner. So under this 5-year multilateral mining integrated project, we will be identifying prospective areas for small-scale mining, where we will then direct the small-scale miners to those particular areas so that they are not just mining haphazardly. But when we direct them there, we know that we've already prospected and there is gold or whatever in that area. So then you can control and regulate it. We are also banning all mining in riverbeds and near water bodies, and making sure that there is surveillance over the water bodies, using including drones to do those surveillance, and also establishing a central processing plant for gold processing in this context. So these are things that we are doing to try to control the menace of galamsey. We have also, in the budget, allocated some 456 million Ghana cedis for the One District, One Factory initiative. And this will, at the district level, they will work with the private sector for this initiative to become a reality. A stimulus package, Ghanaian industries which are in distress, we are coming out with a stimulus package, and 220 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to support distressed but viable companies around the country. In this context also, we've intervened. There was a steel company that was collapsing because of tariff issues. They closed down in October 2016 over a dispute over tariffs. We came in and brought the parties together. Within a few weeks, we resolved the problem. They reopened, and we have saved 400 jobs as a result. We saw also that there was a persistent decline in the number of international airlines which were operating, because you saw airlines like Alitalia, Lufthansa, CityLink, Fly 540, United Airlines, Virgin Atlantic, Air Namibia, they all left Ghana. Now we are trying to make sure that we are the destination of choice in the West African sub-region. And I think that Air France has shown, has recommenced, since we came into office, they have recommenced operations in Ghana after decades of absence. And we hope this is the start to more coming in as we open up our aviation sector. And this is a reversal of the trend that has been happening with airlines leaving. This year also, ladies and gentlemen, the process of issuing national ID cards has begun. And a technical committee report has been submitted, and we are going to do the national ID cards this year as we have promised. And this is a major issue for all of us as a country, because with national ID, we will be able to do so much more. And that, again, the process has begun in earnest, and we are going to be moving forward with implementation very soon. Government has also awarded a contract to help train our teachers in terms of capacity building in the area of ICT with the Kofi Annan Center of Excellence. So it's awarded a contract for the capacity building of 1,400 teachers in the area of ICT. This is within the last 100 days. We've also awarded a contract for the information management system for the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General, awarded a contract for case management system for the Judicial Service of Ghana. The software is being installed now, and awarded a contract for the e-procurement system for use by the Public Procurement Authority. Of course, all of these were by competitive tendering. We have, in the energy sector, taken some major decisions, and they are achievements. We have taken as a matter of policy power purchases. Anyone who is coming to produce power in Ghana and says we want a power purchase agreement, we are saying that you cannot charge us more than 10 cents per kilowatt hour. We have capped it. Ghana is paying the highest electricity in West Africa, as far as I know, charges. So we are, because they are charging us 17 cents and 21 cents. In other countries, they are charging them 10 cents. We are saying you cannot charge us more than 10 cents. We've also established a policy to increase the efficiency of VRA by separating its thermal operations from its hydro. And we've also had a major policy because we want to move from the reliance on thermal to the reliance on renewable energy. And so government has taken a policy which is very, very important to move all government buildings, schools, hospital, military, and police installations, and so on, all government buildings to solar power. And that is where we are moving. We have saved the country $300 million by reviewing and prioritizing the existing power purchasing agreement. The $300 million, we've essentially canceled about 20 of them. We've asked 4 of them to go ahead and the rest to delay by 2 or 3 years. And in so doing, we have managed to reduce government's liabilities. We've also secured financing for 2 major electrification projects, the Hunan and China water projects, and this, when implemented, will extend electricity to over 800 communities. One of the areas where there's a lot of opaqueness is in the allocation of oil blocks in Ghana. We really don't know who really owns these oil blocks. We are saying that let's bring in transparency in the allocation of oil blocks. And Nana Akufo-Addo has put together a team of experts to work with the Petroleum Commission to develop regulations for the transparent allocation of petroleum blocks as provided by Act 919. We've also, in the last 100 days, ensured uninterrupted oil and gas, production of oil and gas in the Jubilee field due to a temporary mooring solution. You had a situation where you had to moor the FPSO by 3 tugboats. And if there was bad weather, production had to stop, essentially. And the new technical solution that the minister approved of essentially has helped for us to get a constant supply of oil from this field. And then long-term and permanent solution is also being discussed. But this temporary solution is saving government $5 million per month. We are also going to introduce a new policy, and we've announced that it will take effect on July 1st because people have to have time to adjust. The new policy on the sulfur content in our petroleum products. Effective 1st July, the sulfur content in our fuel will be reduced from 3,000 ppm to 50 ppm. This will reduce respiratory diseases triggered by fuel toxins with high sulfur content. And so we are moving to be at the same level by, say, the Western countries or the East African countries in this regard. And I think it's a major policy for us to as far as the environment and toxins are concerned. For new PPAs, a new policy in the energy sector that says from now on, because Ghana is moving towards renewable energy, we are no longer going to accept any thermal power purchase agreements. It's over. From now going, if you are bringing in a power purchase agreement, it has to be renewable energy. That is what you are producing. So if you don't have renewable energy to produce, don't come to Ghana. You have to go elsewhere. We have also brought back a focus on our railways, a renewed focus. And it's in the 2016 budget, for example, zero was allocated to railways, zero. In our budget, we are allocating 518 million Ghana cedis to the railway sector because we are trying to do some major projects, the eastern, western, and the central spine, and our objective to get all these things done and get a railway all the way to Paga is what we are going to pursue. The Ghana Railway Company, very interestingly, after the minister told them, if you don't get up and do what you need to do, the railway company may go into, may collapse. The last 3 months, this railway company, because we have created a ministry for railways, if it doesn't work, then you don't have jobs. After creating now, for the first time, the railway company now, currently, is generating, because they are working extra hours, carting manganese and so on, they are now generating enough revenue to pay their salaries. They are not depending on government to pay their salaries. And this is quite remarkable. We've allocated funds in the budget to undertake the One Village, One Dam project. We've also completed the draft for the establishment of the 3 development authorities, the Northern Development Authority, the Middle Belt Development Authority, and the Coastal Development Authority. These are going to be submitted when Parliament returns, and these were done within the first 100 days. The desilting of major drains in Accra has started. Work had stalled because of arrears owed to the contractors, but we've been able to reach an understanding, and they have started work, and it is an achievement. What many people thought will not happen, free SHS in the education sector, is becoming a reality since we have allocated money in our budget to free SHS, and it is going to begin in September with that cohort. We believe that with the next few years, by the 3rd year, all the cohorts, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd years, will have free SHS. But given what we have as budgetary envelope, this is the most prudent way to start. We've also completed a draft bill for the National Research Fund, and we've increased the National Service Allowance effective from April from 350 to 559 Ghana cedis. Remember that the previous government said that they had increased, they announced a 60% increase and left. They didn't pay 1 peso. They just announced it and left. And we have come and we have paid. And we are going to implement that to encourage our national service personnel. We've also allocated money for the establishment of a national entrepreneurship and innovation plan, and which will really help the youth in entrepreneurial allowances. In this same budget, one of the problems we've had in the last few years is the arrears owed to our teachers. So outstanding allowances for teachers in the last 3 years have therefore been captured in this budget. And they have been captured, and each of these arrears will be validated and paid. We want to get rid of that problem. And in addition, as we have promised in this budget, we restored the teacher training allowances, which will also take effect from September. We've established in the area of gender and social protection the first government adult shelter to support victims of human trafficking. There is one for victims of domestic abuse, but this is the first ever shelter dedicated for victims of human trafficking. And in addition, we've established a revolving 500,000 cedi human trafficking fund to help victims of human trafficking. We've made budgetary allocation in addition to expand the LEAP to cover more beneficiaries. from 213,000 to 350,000. These are households who had been captured but not catered for. And we are making the budgetary allocation for them to deal with the poor segments of our society. We promised that the portion of the District Assembly Common Fund that goes to persons with disabilities will be increased from 2% to 3%. This has been on the table for many years, and governments have promised it and not done it. This year, we have done it. We have increased the portion of the District Assembly Common Fund allocated to persons with a disability from 2% to 3%, and it is quite significant in that regard. In the area of health, we've had a lot of trainees, nursing trainees, who have been sitting at home. Within these last 100 days, approval has been given to employ 11,000 health trainees who graduated between 2012 and 2016. We have also dissolved the Health Training Institute. It was really practically a 419 institute which was engaged in collecting monies from prospective applicants. But we have dissolved it, and we have, in addition, reduced the cost of nursing training admission forms from 160 cedis to 100 Ghana cedis. And this will cover all the processes leading to admission. We have restored the nursing training allowance, which will take effect from September. And we have also, in addition to the nurses, we have secured the financial clearance to employ 181 doctors who completed their housemanship 7 months ago. The terms of reference have been completed to enable the selection of auditors on competitive basis to undertake the forensic audit of the January 2016 Central Medical Stores fire outbreak. You remember the fire outbreak? We have not had a forensic audit after all the requests. And how could we do this? Anyway, Nana Akufo-Addo has directed, and it has been done, that we are going to have that forensic audit, and the terms of reference have been completed. We've established a monthly National Fitness and Health Walk Day. I took part in the very first one, and it's going to be a monthly affair, I think, the end of this month. So I think sometime on the 29th, maybe. I'll have to check my calendar, maybe the next one. We've also increased the budgetary allocation to the Youth Employment Agency. And this year, the Youth Employment Agency, starting in May, will begin the process of hiring 80,000 more youth for their modules. 80,000 this year. That's what we are going for. So that allocation has been made. In the area of government machinery, we've completed the appointment of ministers within 6 weeks. This is a record of coming into office. Again, the president told us he was in a hurry. All ministers have declared their assets. We've established a functional delivery unit at the presidency and established a functional economic management team. It's really very functional. Meets every week, and it's really working hard. We've established a policy not to buy cars for government this year. We've also established a policy not to sell cars to departing government officials when they leave office. So if you want to buy a car, better save. You know? We are not going to sell you any car. We've established a value for money unit within the procurement authority. The Public Procurement Authority has now got a value for money unit established. So this unit will review all contracts to ensure that value for money information is provided on time. It's a very, very important one, in addition to an audit unit that they have established. And I think it will be very important. We've allocated 150 million Ghana cedis from the District Assembly Common Fund to clear all the arrears owed on the school feeding program. And this is very, very important for a lot of the people who are involved, suppliers, caterers to the school feeding program, who are owed money. There's also what we normally expect is the Youth Employment Agency, NADMO, and so on. As far as the District Assembly Common Fund is concerned, there are deductions that go to them. But these deductions usually do not get to them because when they get to the districts, something somehow happens and the money doesn't reach there. So what we are doing this time around is saying no. The money is going to be taken from the District Assembly Common Fund centrally and taken straight to you. You are not going to pass through any corner. It's going to come straight and you will get it. So this is something new that we have introduced, and it will make a very big difference. We already said that we want to make sure that the amount of resources that goes to the District Assembly Common Fund is increased so that there are too many deductions at the center. So previously, we had only 33% of the District Assembly Common Fund actually arriving at the district assemblies. But now, with all the deductions, we are getting 50% of the District Assembly Common Fund actually arriving at the districts, and that is going to be a major thing. For the first time in Ghana's history, we are establishing a Zongo Development Fund and made an allocation of $290 million to it. And we've also established a Ministry for Zongo and Inner City Development for the first time in our history. And it will make a big difference as far as the well-being of Zongos and the infrastructural demands of Zongos are concerned. Ghana has also, under Nana Akufo-Addo, within the last 100 days, we've cut a sword for the construction of a national cathedral. We've established a board of trustees to oversee its construction. In the area of the Attorney General's office, the policy approval has been given, thankfully. We are in the process of establishing the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Work on the draft bill is in process, and the Special Prosecutor will be coming very soon. I know a lot of people are waiting for him or her. State prosecutors who had been on strike since November 2016, which crippled the justice system. The AG office successfully negotiated with the state attorneys who have since returned to work. And in addition, the AG's office successfully freed up the Attorney General's account that the courts had garnished at the time we came into office. In the area of defense, all allowances due to soldiers at the various missions have been fully paid. That is $39 million of arrears. All allowances have been fully paid. Secondly, we promise that we will increase the peacekeeping allowance from $31 to $35. When we announced this, the NDC also said they were increasing it from $31 to $35. The only difference is that they never paid before they left office. Now we have paid, and it is very well received. We have also successfully participated in the economic operations in the Gambia. So we've moved away from the Jiwufiasem and actively participated in the restoration of democracy in the Gambia while helping to ensure peace and stability in that country. We've established the Office of Diaspora Affairs at the Office of the Presidency to link Ghana to our brethren in the diaspora to attract the skills and so on. This is the first time it has been done, and we are at the presidency, and we are very happy to have done so. We've also worked with international bodies to secure election of 3 Ghanaian nationals to high-profile positions within the African Union system. Honorable Kwesi Kwartey is Deputy AU Chairperson, Ms. Kathleen Kwartey Ayinsu, member of the AU Commission, and Daniel Batidam is on the AU Anti-Corruption Board, and we've worked with other countries to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, given the time allowed, this is my brief, or not so brief, presentation of the achievements of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his government in the first 100 days. I have presented to you 103 achievements in 100 days. So basically, just as we have 1 district, 1 factory, and 1 village, 1 dam, we have 1 day, 1 achievement. Thank you very, very much for listening. God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, having been elected to the high office of the President of the Republic of Ghana,